This is the Tire Kickers. Classic car chat with Max and Matt.
Welcome to the Tire Kickers outside broadcast from the iconic and classic sales at the NEC Classic Motor Show.
At 78,000, they're saying no, you're still in then, selling the car then.
In this episode, we're at the Iconics auction, kicking the tyres on 300 lots up for 300 lots?
I'm not going to make you do all of them, don't worry.
Okay. Yeah, we're in the middle of all these cars now, and they're all up for grabs here at the NEC Classic Motor Show.
78,000, all done or short then?
So we're going to walk around all the auction lots, pick our favourites and make predictions about what we think they'll sell for. Plus we'll add them to our Instagram page, the Tire Kickers UK, so you can see them as well.
Then after the hammer's fallen and results are out, we'll meet back at Tire Kickers World HQ and compare our predictions with the numbers they actually achieved.
And we'll see who got closest to the real prices. It's hammer time, as episode 44 is an all-action auction Tire Kickers special.
That's yours, sir, 78,000, well done.
So we're surrounded by over 300 cars here at the NEC in Birmingham, the Classic Motor Show. Iconics are here every year and it's a big part of the show here in Hall 2.
It is massive, the layout is huge, isn't it? And you can hear the actual auction going on in the background. Now Matt and I are going to pick out some of the cars in front of us, crawl all over them, find out what they're like, and then we'll make predictions about what we think they'll reach when they go up for auction. We've picked an early E-Type Jag, Paul Weller's school-run Merc,
An Alfa, an Aston,
a modern classic Corrado, a Chevy Stingray, a rubber bumper MGB.
and we're going to argue over a Lamborghini Espada. Now I think it's ugly, but surprise, surprise, Max quite likes it. Well, we'll put up pictures of all the cars we talk about on our Instagram and Facebook pages so you can see what we're seeing.
So then when all these lots have sold, we'll meet up in a couple of days and go through the prices and see who got the closest to the hammer price. Right, let's get stuck in. Enough chat, let's see some cars. First up, Series 1 Jaguar E-Type in Old English white with a red interior. Very early flat floor one. They made, I think, 170 odd right-hand drive flat floors. Quite rare in the Jaguar world. Does this do it for you?
I'll tell you what, when you want a flat floor bore, you're the man. This is what I don't know about classic cars. I said to Max, it's a 147th, production car, and I shrugged. And then apparently this is one of the first. This is the first one. Is that right?
No, it's just one of the first ones.
Of the first.
So the first ones were flat floors, and then they realised there wasn't that much space, and so they got a hammer out and dented the floor basically to make a bit more space for your feet. But these are quite rare. This isn't one of the very, very early ones because they had the outside bonnet lock. But the fact it has the flat floor is quite important. Actually, really nice colour, this Old English one.
With these flat floors, they're not actually the best cars to own because they're not that roomy as the later ones, but they're revered because they're rare. Is that right?
Yeah, because they didn't make that many before they realised they'd made a mistake.
Yeah, so they weren't. Jaguar decided they weren't very good, but people now fight over them because they're rare.
Yeah.
Right, okay. So this one's in Old English white. It's got the covered headlights, It's got a tail light missing at the back there, hasn't it?
Yeah, I've just noticed. Let's have a quick walk round, actually.
Let's have a
Just
look
go around
inside.
here. So it's a 1961. I'm just looking down the side. Nice bodywork. Lovely interior. Matt's just, I think they've locked it, haven't they?
It's locked.
People nick stuff off it. But yeah, it's beautiful interior.
Got a nice, stick the mic in, it's got a nice interior. I mean, there's not much room in there, is there? My God. That's really tight. I mean, they are tight anyway, E-Types. What's this going to go for, then? What's it up for?
So it's guided at £50,000 to £70,000. Now we know from our tyre kickers of old is that E-Types just aren't fetching what they used to do.
No.
And I'm not sure this will, to be honest.
We were joking earlier, we might go past the E-Type Owners Club and ask people who's lost the most money on an E-Type.
Yeah, we'd find it funny, but they wouldn't.
They wouldn't. Yeah, we get punched in the face. Yeah, no, these would have gone for a much bigger number like a few years ago, wouldn't they?
Flat floors were always well over 100,000. It's guided at 50 to 70,000. Now, the thing about E-Types is there's quite a lot of them around.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's still a beautiful car, though. I've managed to get the passenger door open. Do you want to stick your head in and have a look?
It's got the aluminium dash. It's got the beautiful red carpets. It's got the wooden steering wheel. This is on point, actually. This is a really good car. Guided 50 to 70. I am not sure about this. I would think that's probably going to go for 75 to 80. I'll say 78,000.
Okay, yeah, I'll take your lead on that.
Yeah, but you've got to come up with a price.
Oh, I've got to come up with a price.
Do you know that bit we read out?
Yeah. I think because the market is a little bit cold on this. I mean, it's a beautiful car. We're stood right at the front of it now and looking down the bonnet. I mean, those lines are beautiful. I'm just going to go in the middle, 60 grand.
Right, let's walk to the next car. 1963 Chevrolet Corvette Stingray convertible C2s in red, convertible C2, spot on.
Yeah, the 60s ones always look best. This is, as you say, it's like red. It's a vision of red and chrome and black leather. It's got the bonnet up and you can see that V8 in it. It's guided between 48 and 52,000. A couple of interesting things on it. It's a right hooker, which you don't get very often, so that's been converted. And I'm not sure about this, it's a manual. How do you feel about a manual? I think these suit an auto.
You see, I'd much prefer a manual because the auto is a real slush box, but it's right-hand drive. It was converted in the 1960s, so it means it's not original. They didn't make factory right-hand drive C2 convertibles.
So what?
Well, it's just a value thing, isn't it? If it's not original, then is it worth as much?
Yes, it's cheaper, so that's great. It works in the UK because it's a right-hand drive. It's going to be cheaper because it's not original. It's not perfect. Perfect is pretty good, and I think you'd use this. You could certainly improve it. You could just polish the wheels up a bit, you could polish a bit of money into it, but I think you could just use it. The only thing, as I say, puts me off is, would I want to be hulking this around with a manual box? I'm not sure I would, really.
So, it's guided at 48 to 52,000 pounds. I think because of the right-hand drive, because it's not original, I'm going to say at the bottom of that estimate, I reckon it's about 48,000 because it's still a red C2 Corvette convertible.
Yeah, I think if you're going to get one of these in, I spoke to a guy who found one in like Ohio and shipped it in, and it cost him about 60 grand all up. So for a right-hand one, actually that's more useful for me, I think, but it depends whether there's two people fighting over it. I don't think there's going to be. I would say 45.
Now you're going to scoff at my next choice. We've just wandered over to it. It looks a really nice car, but it's a rubber bumper MGB GT.
Well, that's where you're wrong, because I think if you cast your mind back a few episodes ago, I said I fell in love with a rubber bumper MGB GT that somebody had bought for about 6-7 grand, and it was that original one with the orange deck chair things. And this is the last edition, isn't it? It's the LE. So these were silver, the coupes, and then the roadsters were gold. That's it, like a bronzy gold. This is really nice, and I think that the rubber bumpers are coming into fashion a bit more. I mean, people were a bit snooty about them. They always have been a bit snooty about them, but I think now they're starting to wear their bumpers well. I mean, just sort of, I don't know, a bit like an ugly duckling that's come about. But this is an interesting one because it is one of the last ones, isn't it?
Yeah, this was basically a run-out special. Now, I was 10 when this was produced, and I do remember the LE coming out. And the reason this was special
is... This came out in the 50s.
The reason this is special is basically they put silver paint on it and they gave it some stripes and some special wheels. The thing they didn't do is do anything to the engine or pretty much anything to the interior. It's pretty much standard MGB GT. But like you, I quite like the rubber bumpers. I'm not sure I'd really buy one because they're still not as popular as the chrome bumpers.
But this being the last car, I mean, you didn't do the engine, but you're sort of going to get the best version of an MGB, aren't you?
No, because the rubber bumpers, they had a higher ride height and they didn't drive as nicely as the chrome bumpers.
Okay. I think that these are great value for money. This is guided between 12 and 15,000. It's one of just 580 limited editions. So you're into a bit of a cachet there. I think that's great value for money. To go and try and find, a chrome bumpers roadster for that sort of money, you're going to be north of that. So I think this is a really nice car to have. I'm not bothered that the engine's not different. I just think it's a cool car.
I think rubber bumpers haven't quite reached their maximum, if they ever will, because the chrome bumpers are a lot more pretty. I think this is guided at 12 to 15,000. Now, a standard rubber bumper MGB GT is around 5 grand at the moment, so I don't think this is going to make that much. I'm going to give it about 7 to 8,000, say 8,000.
No, I'm going to double that. I'm going to say 16, because I'll tell you for why. MGB's got a massive following. It's an MGB GT, so it doesn't suffer that sort of seasonality of, it's a convertible, I'm not going to use it. And I think it's just one of 580. There's a lot of fans. It's a big market for these MGBs. And if somebody wants the last edition, and two people want a last edition, they'll fight over it. I would say 16.
Controversial. Big car up for sale this time. It's Harry Metcalf's 1971 Lamborghini Espada Series 2 in red. You will have seen this on YouTube if you watch Harry Metcalf. Such a good looking car. This is an amazing, stunning, impressive Lamborghini.
This is a little bit controversial because the last episode I said I wanted to crush one of these because it looks so ugly. And I think in the flesh they look better because you can't see how ugly the actual silhouette is, because actually if you look at the picture here you can still see how minging it is from the back.
So hang on a minute, are you saying you wouldn't crush the Lamborghini Espada?
I don't think it's a great design. I mean, look at that. That back bit doesn't look right. This front bit looks like a wonky donkey. But I think if we stood back 10 feet, I'd still have the view that it's a bit of a rubbish design. Was it a Bertoni?
Marcello Gandini, perhaps the greatest car designer of all time, and I will give you a reason for that because
he was having an off day on this one, I think.
He designed the Lamborghini Miura, designed the Countach, he also designed the Lancia Stratos and the Fiat X19. So he's having a bad day on the X19 day. I think the Espada is a great design. You know, if you are pottering along a motorway, 1971, an Autostrada in your peasant's Fiat 500, and you see this coming up behind you, this is a seriously impressive car, and it fits 4 people. So you've got to think at the time, Jaguar were producing the XJ6, and yet Lamborghini were producing this slab of gorgeousness.
Well, let's talk about the money, because as you say, this has come from Harry Metcalf, so it gets a little bit of cachet to it. It's one of a couple of cars that he's put up in this auction. So it's going up from 90 to 110. I suppose that's what they go for anyway, but it's probably going to be north of that. Do you think this will get the interest?
Definitely, because it's had a very, very expensive engine rebuild, which is documented on his YouTube channel. So I think, to be honest, I think it's going to be worth more than this. It's a right-hand drive, not many of those around, factory right-hand drive. I'm going to say about 120.
Okay, all right. Well, I'll take your lead on that. Oh, I know I need to say one, don't I?
Yeah, you haven't quite got the idea of this game show yet, have you?
So between 90 and 110. I don't know, because I don't like it. I'm going to say 90.
Oh, look at this Mercedes W114 250 Saloon from K. Is that 1971? I can't quite remember.
Yeah, I think so, 1971. But the interesting thing about it is ex-Paul Weller. So this has been in a few jams, hasn't it? Hey.
Oh God, how many puns have you got about the Jam and Paul Weller?
Well, I'll start in a minute. That's no jam.
Right. So anyway, this one, really nice, restored, very dark blue. Paul Weller had it for what, 17, 18 years?
Yeah, and then the current owner refurbished it. So yeah, it's got that provenance to it. It's a 250. Now you normally go, 250 needs to be 280, but I think the Paul Weller influence will make it interesting. He's a man of good taste because we like these.
The 250 is still a 6-cylinder, so I don't mind that so much. But yeah, the 280 is the one to have. Really good condition. The trouble with these is, how much is Paul Weller's celebrity connection worth in a car? Here's the question.
Well, that's true, because although we watched one of these two people fight over these at an auction last year and it went for like 20 grand, the one recently came through an auction and went for about 6. So does Paul Weller's influence? I mean, it's quite a wild wood out there for
oh God, stop it. So this is basically guided between 40 and 50,000. So that is a lot for a W114 250 Saloon. Oh, it's a 72, not a 71, sorry. Yeah. I don't think, if this wasn't Paul Weller's, this would be going about 16 to 18.
Yeah, well, it will be changing hands because it is from the changing man,
sake.
Isn't it?
I'm going to just put a figure on it and I'm going to say 18,000.
Okay, well the estimate is between 40 and 50.
I just don't think it's worth that much.
Oh, okay. I think you're right. I think this is interesting to a niche of people. It's a nice condition car, but as I say, they go through the auctions for about 6-7 grand. So I would say probably, what did you say? I'll say 20.
I said 17 or 18, I can't remember. Okay. It's so long ago, it's 2 minutes ago.
If you have, like we've said with all these things, we've got 2 Paul Weller fans who want it, who want to tell their mates they've got Paul Weller's car, then it will go for that. Otherwise it might languish about 15.
Now, we've moved over to the next car. To be honest, when I took you to that rubber bumper MGB GT, I thought you were going to have a right face on. And you didn't, surprisingly. However, I think you're going to have a real face on this one. This is a modern classic. It's a 1995 Volkswagen Corrado VR6 manual. Now, I really like these. It's a Golf underneath, but it's got the VR6 6-cylinder engine. Great looking car. It's got a pop-up spoiler, Volkswagen reliability. Modern classics. They're not quite there yet, but there's not many around. I really like this.
It's from the 90s, isn't it? So I know Corrado on this one because it's just a bit boring looking to me. It's not.
But it's a really good drive.
It's not a classic car, really. It's just a boring 90s car, performance car, isn't it?
I think if you were a lot younger, you would be wetting yourself over these because Corrados were the cool car of the 1990s. Now, this one, interestingly, is guided at 20 to 25,000. I think the market is starting to notice these and saying there's not many of them about. It's certainly in good condition. This is a white one with a black interior VR6. It's got the right spec.
I just can't get excited. I'd rather spend my money on something else, to be honest. I think if you pull this up, look what it's surrounded by. You've got a nice 107 there. You've got a pagoda here. You've got Paul Weller's thing there. You've got even a Shove-It. We've got a Vauxhall Shove-It next to us.
You're actually saying a Chevette looks better than a Corrado?
Well, it's more interesting, isn't it?
It's just utter nonsense.
No, this is just too bland. We remember the 90s. We were around when these were, they were revered, but I don't think they were revered Corrados.
I had one. You remember when I had this one? I
but
had the grey one.
It wasn't that exciting. It wasn't it's not a Golf GTI, is it?
Well, it is, to be honest, but it's just a different one. Anyway, I think it's guided 20 to 25,000, not quite there yet. I reckon it's going to go for about 14.
Well, it won't sell in that case. I think it's obviously they want minimum of 20 for it, but I think it will. I don't know. Yeah, I'd agree with you. 14.
Oh, lot 231 is a 2002 Aston Martin Vanquish 2+2. This is in Solway Grey, V12 Vanquish, full history, celebrity owned by Hugh Grant. Lovely looking cars, these Vanquishes. I think they're so pretty. It's
a really nice car. It's a really classy car. You forget how good these are, how design-wise how good these cars. It's obviously his daily car. He obviously used it as his run around, and what a great run around to have. It's whether I want it. Do you know, Joe, would I want to take this on? It's going to be quite expensive to run, isn't it?
It is, but look at it. I mean, it's such a pretty car. This is the kind of first generation. I think it's the Ian Callum designs, plus the hand-built British V12 engine. You can't get much better than that. And also guided amazingly at 40 to 45,000 pounds. Not an expensive car when you think hand-built Aston Martin V12.
Yeah, I don't know enough about the Aston Martin market to know what these would go for without the celebrity endorsement.
Well, again, is that a positive? Is being Hugh Grant's car a positive?
It always is, isn't it? It always adds a little bit of value, doesn't it? Because it makes the car stand out in the market. If you're going to sell this on, you go, oh, by the way, it's Hugh Grant's old car, so that gets a bit more interesting. You're not going to find Hugh Grant's other car. He's only had one of these. So, yeah, in terms of value, what are you going for then?
This is guided 40 to 45,000. If you look inside these Vanquishes, they're beautiful outside, but they're a bit forward inside.
Yeah,
and it's got that automated manual gearbox, which is frankly a bit rubbish. Those early 2000 automated gearboxes are terrible. I'm going to put it at about 35, I think.
Yeah, it's one of those ones, because it's 2002, it sort of falls between that thing of, you could use it as a daily car, but it's 2002, so the tech's going to be rubbish probably in it, so you'll struggle with it, get frustrated with it. Then it's a collector's car, and is it that much of a collector's car? Are you going to... you'd use it a weekend, couldn't you? It's just, the thing about it is that caught in that thing of being very modern looking car. It hasn't dated very much actually, has it? So I think, the value is going to reflect that. Yeah, I'd go lower end, 40 grand.
How much?
40.
40, okay. Yeah, look at the buttons, that's from a Mondeo.
Well, at least you get the parts.
Oh, Matt likes these. 1975 Alfa Romeo 2000 GT Veloce in red with a kind of cigar interior. This is the perfect spec. Red Alfa Romeo. It's had some work done to it by Alfaholics. They've thrown some wheels and some exhausts and stuff at it. That's all very, very expensive. I really like these Alfas. You do as well.
I'm actually drooling at this one, actually, which is not a good look in the middle of an auction. Yeah, 1975 Alfa Romeo 2000, the 105 series, and it's beautiful. It's an Alfa red with a tan leather interior. Absolutely yum. This was on Classic Car Salvage Hunters, this car. They did this car up, and then the current owner has done even more to it. So it really looks really good, but it's also been pimped, isn't it, with quite a lot of stuff.
Question is though, do you pay a premium for money that's been spent on a car? I sometimes think no, because that's the previous owner's responsibility, isn't it? Does it put value on a car to have money spent on it like this?
So this is from Paul Cowland's show, Classic Car Salvage Hunters, and Paul has a saying, find me another one. So where you find another one of these, because if it not only looks good, it's had all the tweaks that you want to make it a really fast, fun car. That's going to drive fantastically. So I think it is worth the money.
So, guided 45 to 55,000. Matt, give me a number.
Oh, I'd pay 55 for this. I think, like I say, it's got a bit of a unique. It's been on a TV show. It's been restored, so you've got that, souvenir keepsake of the TV show, and it's had the right stuff done to it, an Alfaholics thing, and it looks great. Those three things together, I think, will push the price up.
See, I think they've spent more on it than possibly it's worth. There are a few others around like this, maybe not with this kind of kit. I'm going to say about 53,000, I think, on this. Right, so Matt is starting to get tired. His blood sugar is low and he's looking a little bit grumpy. I've just given him an Alfa Romeo, which I think would cheer his spirits. Now, here's one I think that could be your next car, Matt. Now, this is post-British Leyland. You've got a BL Stag. This is post-BL. You've had a V8. This is a V12. So this is moving on your classic car game. This is a 1988 Jaguar XJS V12 convertible with just 35,000 miles. So this is basically an upgrade for your Stag. All the problems you have with the Stag, like you don't like the interior that much, this solves because it's got a really pretty interior.
I am warming to these. We talked to the guys from the XJS Club at the last show, and I'm starting to appreciate them in a new light. It's really nice, actually. It's sort of a pale metallic blue with a blue roof. And for years they were kind of thought of as a bit ugly, these XJSs, but I'm really warming to them. And as you say, it is a step up from the Stag thing. Whether I'd want a V12, not so sure.
It gives you that classic car experience that you've not had. You've had a V8, now have a V12. I think it's perfect for you. Have a look inside. I'm ending up like a car salesman here. What can I do to get you in this car?
It's locked. I think it looks really good, actually. The blue and the light grey interior looks really, really nice. They're still a bit of an old man's car, aren't they? But
perfect for you.
I'm an old man, so yeah, it'll be interesting to see. What's this up for?
Let's just walk around the front and see what the guide price is. Now, it is 34,000 miles, so it's very low. Guided at 15 to 20,000. That's quite good for an XJS convertible V12. I reckon I would probably say this would go for 16,000.
Yeah, it's Triumph Stag money, so I'm with you. I'd say probably 17.5. It's in good nick. So there you go. Those are our picks from the Iconics auction here at the NEC Classic Motor Show. A fairly mixed bag.
Yeah, but I think in true tyre kickers fashion, we think they're going to be good value, and you don't have to have a huge inheritance to buy one, except maybe for the Espada.
Espada Schmada. So now we're going to fast forward in time to when the sale is over and find out the prices. So, Max, play the jingle, and we've got time to dash back to the studio and check out what went down.
The Tyre Kickers, classic car chat with Max and Matt.
Right, it's the Monday after the Saturday and Sunday sale. Unlike all rubbish game shows, let's try and create some tension. Now the results are in. So anyway, we've got 9 picks. We'll see who got the closest to each lot, and then, under strict Antiques road trip rules, count up the total amount we missed the hammer price by. Make sense?
Yeah, very daytime TV. But let's start looking at the results in the order of how we looked at the cars. At least I can sort of basically follow that. Go on, off you go.
Now, just for clarity, the prices we're using are the sold prices from the Iconics website, which are the hammer prices plus the buyer's premium, but not including the VAT on the buyer's premium.
Well, that's confusing.
It is a little bit confusing, but basically the prices on the Iconics website, I couldn't be bothered to work them backwards. So these are the prices that you would have paid before any tax.
All this happiness from buying your car, the Treasury's got their hand out for a bit of money. Right, go on, then kick it off. I think it was E-Type first, wasn't it?
Old English white, red leather interior, absolutely lovely. I reckoned it was going to go for 78,000. I was a bit over the top there. You reckon it was going to go for 60,000. It actually sold for, and hold your breath, 57,375. That is so cheap. That is unbelievably cheap for a Series 1 E-Type.
Well, yes and no, because those prices are like plummeting. But you were saying it was telling me there that it was a special one, and well, it wasn't that special, clearly.
No, obviously not.
Who was closer? I was closer to that. Then.
You were closer.
Hold on a minute, just a bit basic maths. You're about 20 grand out on that.
I was a long way out on that, and this is why I don't buy cars at auction, because I completely fall in love with them and then massively overpay.
This is why I shouldn't listen to you at car auctions.
I wasn't aware you listened to me anyway, so I don't think that's news, is it? Right, next, that Corvette.
Yeah, that Corvette. I like that Corvette. Now, this is the one that you said, oh, it's a right-hand driver. Oh, it's wrong. That'll devalue it. Oh, it's a manual. That'll devalue it.
I said the manual wouldn't devalue it because the auto box is rubbish.
Right, okay then. Well, so come on, get down to the numbers. What
Corvette. Yes. I said it would be 48,000. You said it would be 45,000. Yeah. It's actually the buy it now price, because it didn't sell, but this is what it got to, was 55,200. So under that, you were 10 grand off. I was 7 grand off. So that's a win for me.
Yeah, but hold on, it didn't sell. So those figures, that's null and void, that one.
Well,
it's not a win for you.
No, but otherwise, if we rule out all the buy it nows, there was only 5 cars sold. So if we rule out the buy it nows, we've got no game show.
It didn't sell. You can't be the winner at an auction if a car didn't sell. So
okay, but if I take out the buy it now prices, then you won't win this game.
Oh, okay, keep the buy it now prices in.
So you've got to decide which you want.
Well, hold on, let me let me see which way it goes from here, and then we can decide.
Exactly.
But I don't
Let's
think
just say,
I,
for your
I,
sake, keep the buy it now prices.
I don't. Well, I don't think if it didn't sell, so we would sell that. We would say in a normal auction kind of roundup that didn't sell. Yeah. Anyway, right next on MGB GT, and then that was that nice rubber bumper last edition one, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I think they're quite nice. I mean, there's still the rubber bumpers.
Yeah, I liked it.
They're only good when they're cheap, these MGB GTs, and this was a special edition that's not that special. I said it was going to go for 8,000. You said it was going to go for 16,000.
Mhm.
Now here we are. The buy it now price was 13,350, so much closer to your bid. So let's not count that then, shall we?
Well, no, it doesn't. Yeah. Well, I think if we stick to it, it didn't sell, did it? Is what you're saying.
Okay.
So it didn't sell. So Corvette didn't sell. The MGB GT didn't sell. I think it's quite important actually that I know it's sort of it mucks up your game, but I think it's this is a high profile auction and those two cars haven't sold. So either they're overestimated or the people weren't in the room for them or on the phone for them. Okay, interesting. Then we went on to that Espada, didn't we?
Yeah, Harry Metcalf's Espada, that was up for sale. That was guided at somewhere between 90 and 110. You didn't like it, I did like it. I went for 110, you went for 90. In that case, it actually sold for £132,000, 750. So you were 42,750 out. I was only 22,000 out.
Yeah, I'm going to eat some humble pie on this because I think I underestimated, one, the Harry Metcalf connection and what that would bring to it. And secondly, also how high profile this auction is because it's at the biggest car show. And the fact he'd done a preview video on his that car and other cars, to be fair, we didn't focus on that. But that had gone out like a day or two before and got like, sort of a few 100,000 views. So there was much interest in that car. And I think that may have possibly sold before the auction as well. So I'm like, take my hat off. That is a big price. I have to say, in the flesh, that car does have presence. Whether I think side on or stood back from it, the design is great. I'm not so sure. But up close, it is a kind of like wow car. Just because it's so ridiculous. It's so wide and so big. But somebody really wanted that, and they paid 132,750 plus the VAT on top to have it.
Moving on from the Espada was the Aston Martin Vanquish. That was really nice. We both liked that, actually, apart from the Ford interior. I thought it would go for 35,000. You said 40. It actually sold spookily close to your guess for 39,375. So you're only 600 quid out.
As I said, it was sort of one of those cars that's sort of not modern, not classic, but looked quite modern. I mean, I think it would be a nice daily car. But I got lucky on that, on the money. I think I underestimated this whole auction, actually, because I think I didn't really think about how profile it was. But that one seemed to have worked. What else do we have? XJS. Oh, yeah.
XJS. So I'm trying to get you into an XJS. This was a very nice convertible blue XJS, the V12, one of the later ones. I think it was a 1988. And I think it's a great replacement for your Stag. I reckoned it would go for 16,000 because these are really cheap. You went for, unusually, you put in a half number, 17,500. But the buy it now price ended up at 17,250. So you were spot on the money for that one, but we're not including that under your new rules.
Well, yeah, I'll play fair. So that's what the buyer wants then.
Yeah, that's what people will pay for those XJSs now. They are really cheap. And interestingly, elsewhere in that auction, there was a coupe that sold for 3,000 and a coupe that sold for 5,000. So XJSs are still bargains. Now is the time. Great car for you.
Yeah, although I think you could argue that's not what people will pay for an XJS because they didn't want to pay for it. I think you can get them cheaper. When I talked to the XJS Club, they were certainly quoting figures lower than that. So I reckon if you shopped around, I mean, it was a nice one, that, and it was a V12, but I reckon you could probably shop around and get something like that for like 15 or under maybe, which does make it an exceptionally good buy if it's in good condition.
Brilliant. I mean, that's kind of like, top MGB, top Trump Stag money, isn't it?
Yeah.
And an XJS is, undeniably a better car than those two.
Now, there was one car that I think I probably liked more than most, actually, that we looked at, and that was that red Alpha, the 105. That had everything done to it, hadn't it? Been to Alphaholics. It was off Salvage Hunters Classic Cars. And I thought that would go for good money. I sort of said like 55 on that. You said 53. I mean, I don't know if those are the prices or our ages. I'm not quite sure. But what did it sell for in the end?
49,500, so not quite as much as both of us thought. I mean, the problem with those is that sometimes those upgrades, those Alphaholics upgrades, are kind of to the owner's taste. So does that always translate into the next buyer's, the next owner's taste? So they're quite personal, those upgrades. They can make it quite noisy. So I don't know whether
Yeah.
anybody wants to particularly always buy somebody else's fixes, somebody else's add-ons.
I think with those as well, they've dropped in value. They were a bit more exy than they are now. So the sort of residual of those has dropped. So anything you do on top, it comes back to that old thing of you're not going to get your money back, are you? Particularly, I mean, the Provenance was nice that it had been on a TV show. The Provenance was nice that it had been to Alcoholics. It just maybe just didn't have enough. I mean, obviously got a premium, for 50 grand. That's hotter than they normally are.
Next up was Paul Weller's Merc 250 W114 Saloon that we both liked. We were talking about the celebrity factor in this. How much is Paul Weller's signature on the console actually worth? You said that car was worth 20,000. I thought a bit less, 18,000.
Yeah.
Shows us we were both wrong. It sold for 31,000.
With these celebrity cars, they just shout to the top, don't they? They,
Oh God, we're still
all-
getting on this, aren't we? I thought this is enough.
I mean, with the prices on those sort of things, it only takes a couple of buyers and walls come tumbling down, don't they? So, it sold for 31,000, which is double what that car is probably worth.
It had been nicely restored, but it wasn't that special, was it? But I think that Paul Weller connection, it's funny about the celebrity things, isn't it? Because sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But, there probably are big Paul Weller fans out there who wanted to own his car.
Those prices are all over the place on that because, as we said, it's the one went recently for about 6-7 grand, and then yet we saw one being fought over that went for like 20 grand. We should have borne that in mind a bit more, actually, those, because if you think that one that we saw down at Southwest Vehicle Auctions went for about 22 grand with two people, throw in the celebrity factor, then 30 feels about right, doesn't it? If someone's a Paul Weller fan or wants that Provenance because of that, and then probably at a high profile auction, that price feels about right. So yeah, we were a bit off the money there, weren't we? So that means that oh no, I won that one.
Yeah, you won that one. Next up was the Corrado. Do you remember the white VR6 Corrado that I really liked? You hated this.
Yeah, why did you do that one?
But it was fantastically wrong for both of us because I said 14. You rather unimaginatively copied me at 14,000 and it sold for £27,000.
27 grand, really?
It shows
What's
how
that?
those 90s classics are coming in.
Absolutely
That's way more than I
bonkers.
thought that would go for.
No, I would walk past that car at a car meet. It'd do nothing for me because, like I said, it's just a performance car from the 90s and not particularly tricked out one. It's not like, whoa, there's nothing beautiful about it, is there?
I mean, I quite like Corrados, as you know, but it's not a drop-dead gorgeous car.
No.
I mean, half the price of a Series 1 E-Type. Hello, I just don't think that really is value for money, really. But
Well, it doesn't matter whatever era you're from. You're not going to build a garage around that car with a sofa in and sit and look at it, are you? Because it's not that great. Whereas I'd buy an E-Type, whether I'm not from the 60s, but I'd buy an E-Type to sit and look at it because it's just so beautiful. That's not beautiful. That looks like it should be on a second-hand car lot.
right, should we do the results then? Because
Well, yeah, I think I've mucked it up though, haven't I?
you have completely mucked it up. So we're gonna have to add this up live. So have you got a pen and paper?
No, I
Okay.
could get one. Hold on a minute, I'll get one. You talk amongst yourselves. I'll get one.
So we're going to take out the ones under the new rules, which were the buy it nows, which was the Corvette and the MGB GT
Yep.
and the XJS, and just go for the ones that actually sold. So have you got your pen and paper ready?
Yeah. You know how you can never find a pen and paper, and then in my pens in here in the office that I'm sat in, you always end up with the odd biro, don't you? That's not the one you want because all the good ones get used. So I'm using some sort of crocodile biro that's in the shape of a crocodile and alligator, the one the kids have got, and I'm making notes on the back of a French speeding fine that I got when I went on holiday. So
How fast were you going?
77 kilometers in a 70-kilometer zone. So that's 7 kilometers over, which I think
It's France. You got a ticket for not going fast enough.
Yeah, that's right. Well, I wasn't smoking a Gauloise at the time, so I think it didn't count. Right, so I've got my crocodile pen and my speeding fine that I'm writing on.
Let's make this up as we go along then. So first of all, the E-Type, you won that.
Right, so that's me. Yep.
We're not counting the Corvette. We're not counting the MGB. The Espada, I won that.
Yep.
The Vanquish, you won that.
Yep.
The XJS, we're not counting. The Alpha, I won.
Uh-huh.
The Merc, you won.
Yep.
And the Corrado, that I won that because you just copied my price.
No, there's one each.
That's a moral victory.
It's one
for me.
each. One each. I didn't know. No, it's one each. There we go. So I'm doing the same tally thing that you used to do in school, the 4 lines in the bar.
No, right.
Neither of us have got a bar. So in reverse order, you got 3,
Yeah.
and I got 4 right just
Oh.
because I know the market better and I know how it works. But
I'm not sure
yeah.
about that. A couple
So,
of your
yeah.
guesses were spookily accurate. The
They're not
XJ is
guesses.
virtually within a penny of that.
They're carefully calculated figures based on market conditions and the desirability of the car.
Are you sure you just
And I
didn't walk
guess-
off and have a look at the results? Because the auction was actually going when we were doing that. And you disappeared on your phone for half an hour while I chatted to the lovely Penny from Iconic. So
Yeah,
did you do any kind of enhanced research by looking at the results?
Look, I think I used to do. You remember a couple of years ago, I was quite good at guessing the guide price, wasn't I, out of the book? But now I can't do it anymore. It's all the prices are so all over the place now, aren't they?
Well, that E-Type, I think that for me is a massive wake-up call because, hello, the world's most gorgeous car is now going for, 50 to 60 grand. So that is a changing of the guard for me because E-Types are getting cheaper and VW Corrados from the 1990s, I mean, that's through the roof. £27,000 for a Corrado. You used to be able to get those for like 2,000-3,000 quid. So it's a changing of the guard moment for me. That E-Type is dirt cheap. I'm kicking myself for not having £57,000 spare, while
Well,
the
yeah.
Corrado is expensive for what is effectively a Golf in drag.
But have the E-types bottomed out? Or is there a bit more to go? I've got a mate who bought a flat floor at the height of the market as a collector thing.
Would you be making a call?
Be lying on the flat floor, I think, after that price.
I think, though, there's a few dealers around that I've seen which have got E-Types in 6 figures still. They're looking really, really behind the times. Because if you're getting those kind of Ultimate Series 1s for about 60,000, that is a bargain. You just can't charge 6 figures for an E-Type anymore unless it's been amazingly, amazingly restored.
I don't particularly want an E-Type, but I think they are one of the most beautiful classic cars, and now is probably the time to buy one. I mean, I don't hanker after having one to drive around it, but they're just such beautiful, and they're like design on wheels, aren't they?
If they get cheaper and cheaper, who's not going to want one? Because, okay, if the body's done, the body is expensive to restore on those. If that's done nicely, the mechanics are relatively straightforward because those 3.8, 4.2 engines have been around forever. The interiors, I mean, there's every part available for E-Types. There's a massive E-Type industry behind it. So if they get cheaper and cheaper and cheaper, who's not going to want to tool around in an E-Type? Because they're a great car to drive.
Here's a question. You've had one. Would you have another one?
Yes, I mean, I'd love another one. I'd love it. I'd love an old English white Series 1 flat floor with a red interior, to be honest. I'm kind of like an idiot for not going for that, apart from the fact I couldn't afford it. But yeah, I mean, absolutely. I'd go for one in a shot. It's just that old question, when is the bottom of the market? Is that now or is that in 6 months' time? Who knows?
So we've got auctions obviously going to come up over the next sort of winter season, 6 months. It's worth bookmarking that flat floor E-Type then, isn't it? And seeing if another one comes up, what that goes for. Because they do usually pop up at these high-profile auctions, don't they?
Well, it's interesting, will they now? Because now people are seeing the prices. Will people just keep them in their garage for a bit longer? So it's a really delicate kind of calculation to make, isn't it? Because do you sell your E-Type now when it's going really low? Probably not. Or do you hang on to it and watch them go even lower, in which case sell them now? So it's going to be a really interesting watch over the next year. And we talked about E-Types about a year ago, the values falling even then when you could get Series 2s for 60,000. Now you're getting Series 1s for 60,000. Now is the time to watch an E-Type because as much as I like a Corrado, I'd walk past a Corrado every day to get to a Series 1 E-Type.
Yeah, talking to Corrados, I mean, you picked the cars on this lot.
Here we go.
This
I
time.
knew that there was some moaning coming, and here it comes.
Well, after we'd done it and I got home, I watched a couple of previews of the auctions. Maybe I should have done that research before, but you kind of missed
Well, I
out.
think you were doing it while the auctions were going on, weren't you? That's how you got those scarily accurate prices.
There's a couple of cars you missed out. There was the Rowan Atkinson E-Type, where that would come from a film that he'd made, and he'd kind of destroyed it a bit and restored it.
Yeah, but the
that was
trouble
an
is with that
interesting
one, and I saw that one, you can't get the true value of an E-Type because you can't take away the celebrity connection. So I just wanted to see the true value of an E-Type, not an E-Type that somebody famous had driven.
Okay, and then we didn't talk about Harry Metcalf's Jag, which went for like massive money, didn't it?
Yeah, that went for I think it went for something like 150,000.
Yeah,
It's quite an
130,
interesting
yeah.
car that because he'd spent about 100,000 on it, and I was convinced he was going to lose money because that's a lot for a what is an XJ coupe.
Yeah, I think with him though, it's that documented, high-profile, famous. I mean, I think that would be in the same league as like JK from Jamiroquai or Chris Evans doing it and making YouTube videos about it. That's what boosted that price up. Without him, even if it had his connection and he hadn't done anything online about it, I reckon that would have gone for like 60, 70, 80, something like that. But the fact that people have watched it and got emotionally involved with that car, and they, have seen what he's done. He doesn't need to sell the story, does he, about what a unique car that is? So that, I think that's what helped push that up. I think next time, rather than the rubbish that you picked, like Corrado and that Vanquish, I think, well, we should do half and half on these auctions, so that I at least get a chance to pick some decent cars.
Yeah, but you know what you'd have to do beforehand? You'd have to do some research. That would mean doing some work before you turned up and just opened your gob.
That's true, yeah. But I was on the money, wasn't I?
I mean, sort of. If I hadn't got carried away with that E-Type, I would have won.
You got confused.
And actually, also, my moral victory on the Corrado would make it a draw. So I'm calling that a draw. It doesn't matter what you say because I'm editing this, so it's a draw. So that's it for this special auction action episode. We've put pictures of all the cars we've been talking about up on our Instagram, so you can see what we've been arguing about.
Yeah, you can also see how that Corrado was. Thanks for listening. We're back next time with more nonsense about classic cars on the regular show.
And don't forget to keep an eye on our Instagram and Facebook pages.
You can find us at The Tyre Kickers UK on Instagram and The Tyre Kickers on Facebook.
See you next time. Bye.
Bye.